Hi everyone, I'm Bill Holcomb and welcome back to the studio. Today we're heading for Montana. It's Logan's Pass in the Glacier National Park. It's a beautiful landscape with a backdrop of mountains with valleys that are tree-lined. Although it's at the intermediate stage for watercolor painting, I think as a beginner it's worth having a go, and I'll show you step by step how you can achieve certain results. As always, you can download my free sketch and you will find there a list of the materials too. So grab your brushes and let's paint watercolors. We start with some Winsor Blue color at the top and some clear water next. And start with a number 12 brush, something like that. If you've got a 10, that's fine. As long as it's got a nice point. And we're going to lay down some water in the whole of the sky area, coming down to the top of the mountain range. If you do this, it will help you maintain so much more control when you do skies, and especially a nice clear blue sky like this. So this is a very good tip for beginners to help you achieve a nice wash, clear blue sky. So, as always, my board is at an angle. It slopes from the top to the bottom, about 30 degrees. There's a block of wood underneath the top. And that enables the pigment to slowly creep down the paper. And as it does so, if it collects more on the sides, then you can dip your brush into that and bring it across part of the sky to spread the mixture a little bit further afield. And the paper is only taped down at the moment, so it doesn't move around, because it's 300-pound rough arches, and that doesn't need to be taped. It's purely to help the video. And you'll see that I keep the paper in the same place all the time throughout the whole video. But you, of course, at home, for certain parts of the painting, could choose to move the paper around. And whilst it's still wet, you can darken that sky up some more by going into the Winsor Blue again and letting it work its way down the paper. And dry it with a hairdryer, and it dries much lighter. Then we have some yellow ochre and some, you can do light red or Indian red, whichever you have available. They're very close in color, in tone. And then at the bottom, I've got a much weaker mixture of the yellow ochre and the red. And I've got at the top there another mixture of the Winsor Blue with some red added for a darker blue. Then, still using your number 12 brush, you can lay down that red mixture over the whole of the mountain range. It's very light. It's an underpainting. There are certain areas towards the bottom of the mountain range, the base, that I'll purposefully leave. So I'm doing some negative painting in that respect, because I'm painting around an area to leave the white area. That is the English style of transparent watercolor, where we use the white of the paper for our whites. Then you'll see I've got a number 6 brush. If you have a 4 or 5, that's fine. And as always, I mentioned this before, paintbrush sizes that I mentioned will vary tremendously from one make and another. But at least on screen with this video, you can see their thickness. So I'm fusing in. Now I've laid down the lighter mixture first. I'm then fusing in some of the darker, more intense mixture. And after a little while, you'll see we'll be adding various shadows. So still at the underpainting stage. You'll see occasionally that I can put some clear water on the brush and help diffuse in. Dry that off with a hairdryer. Then you're going to lay down your shadows. So the sun is coming from the left, casting shadows to the right. But it's reasonably high in the sky. I do have a weaker mixture of that Winsor Blue and light red that you'll see me dipping into occasionally. Still using quite a small brush at this stage of the painting. I'll be wanting to emphasize as we progress certain cracks and crevices in the rocks to make it real to the life situation. At the bottom section of the palette there, we got a mixture of the Winsor Yellow and Winsor Blue, and one has much more yellow than blue, and then some pure Winsor Yellow as an underpainting for those fields in the valleys there. There is a very small lake in the foreground that you can see penciled in there, but I'm painting around, negative painting again. That will be completed with some Winsor Blue later, and when the Winsor Blue is still wet, we'll drop in some reflection from the tallest distant mountain. Still lots of underpainting going on, and quite varied. I've got the Winsor Yellow, the mixture of Winsor Yellow, Winsor Blue, and I'm showing gaps here and there rather than just one dull wash. It has variation. On certain parts of the mountainside, you've got some greenery going on, and I'm just indicating that as a reminder as to where it is, and then I can emphasize it later. And as I do that, I'm fusing in certain neighbouring parts. And now I'm just re-emphasizing the various tonal values and hues here and there, making sure that I've got something light enough, dark enough, a nice juxtaposition, etc. The sun is bright and it is catching various facades of the rocks. That's why you've got that intense red colour coming through because it is picking up the sun rays. For these various valleys that all have the nice tree lines on them, I'm varying that with the intensity of yellow and blues, bluey greens, etc. I've gone to a number 2 brush for certain detail on the facades of the rocks. And we've got some horizontal lines here and there, as well as vertical lines going on. So nice variety. And as I mentioned, occasionally I'm using the side of the brush scraping technique, both for the rock areas and some of the greenery at the base of the rocks. We've got a few little rocks in the foreground area there. Adds a little bit of interest and acts as a prop on the left-hand side of the painting. Use your wet in wet approach when painting those. Start with some grey bluey colour and then add your brown and then some of your darker mixture of the blue and red. And make sure you leave light at the top of those rocks. They almost look like steps, but that's how they are in reality in this location. But leave the light at the top. You can achieve that when you lay down the grassy area. For the lake, as I mentioned, we drop in some Winsor Blue. Have some tissue handy in case you need to take off any excess fluid. Now, whilst that's wet, we're doing wet in wet, we're dropping in some reflection from the distant mountain, that tallest one. Not being too fussy about it, just done enough to tell the story. Then a lot of time will be spent painting in these tree lines that follow the slopes of the valley. So use a small brush here, something like a number 2. Start at the top of each tree, gradually work your way down. In a horizontal fashion, you just come across from side to side. And they do get thicker at the bottom of the tree, so you can mix that up a little bit when you reach the bottom. Just thicken it here and there. You can always remember to keep a piece of paper to the side as a practice piece. So for instance, these trees, you can test the intensity of the colour you've mixed, and then you can draw a few or paint a few of the trees on the test paper to get used to the best way of achieving them before you commit to your masterpiece. And here and there at the base of the trees, I've dropped in a light mixture of the green and added some water and fused it into the base of the tree line. That gives a little bit of a hint of shadow, and it helps anchor the tree line to the landscape. Once you've painted certain areas and let them dry slowly as you're painting in another area, then you can review and decide whether anything needs adjustment or strengthening So for instance, those rocks on the left hand side, I'm just strengthening up those here and there now, but making sure I leave those light areas at the top. So you've got another tree line, then you've got a few trees in the foreground. Using the same technique, which you can see a little bit clearer now that we're at the foreground area. Once again, make sure they start off thin at the top and gradually, very slowly get thicker as you come down to the base area. We're indicating some grassy areas using the side of the brush, scraping, and have a tissue to hand so that you can take off any excess pigment if necessary. Because I want the brush sort of semi-dry, not too much fluid on it. And if necessary, you can dab with a tissue. Then what we're going to do is use a basting brush. It's got lots of bristles to it. That is very fun. And we've got some pure Winsor Yellow on that first. Just dab in here and there for these wildflowers in the foreground. So it's a sort of springtime situation. Then we're going to do some Scarlet Lake. The same method. And here we have the finished painting of Logan Pass in the Glacier National Park, Montana. And I hope you've enjoyed that and learned a great deal from it, which you can apply to your future masterpieces. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this tutorial, give my other beginner videos a try by clicking this thumbnail.